This presentation is not about the Greater Bay that you know. It's not about Silicon Valley. It's about the Greater Bay that you don't know in southern China. And that is exactly the point of the conversation, the presentation, to tell you what it is, because something incredible is happening in southern China. So welcome to the Greater Bay, and Greater Bay, the region, the company, and the opportunity. These are the three things I will introduce you to. And the gentlemen were talking about mobility. I will talk about mobility in China. So it was a great segue into my presentation. A little bit about myself. Where do I point with this pointer, my friend? Okay. So I'm coming from Hungary, and I'm wondering how many of you know this video game, SimCity 2000? Very few people. It's a video game that came out in early 90s, basically. When I was 9 years old, I was born in 1984, and as all Hungarian boys at my age, I just wanted to be Luke Skywalker. Until I started playing with this video game, which is about building cities. And then I just wanted to be a city mayor. And it's not an accident that I ended up in Hong Kong 8 years ago, one of the greatest cities on earth, according to my dreams, according to my values. And I ended up in the area of innovation, technology, and venture capital. Hong Kong is now part of what we call the Greater Bay Area. It used to be called the Pearl River Delta. You might have heard about that. That is the Pearl River. That is the delta with Guangzhou on the top. It's a very ancient city, Guangzhou, with history of 2,000 years. And there was 200 years when it was the only port in China that had the license to trade with the rest of the world. And that is when this region started to develop. That's when this region started to become international. That's when the British actually occupied Hong Kong during the Opium War, and only because of Hong Kong's strength, Shenzhen became Shenzhen, that you might know. It's an innovation powerhouse, and now the central government of China is integrating this entire region into one mega city. And it's a mega city that you don't see anywhere else. It has a population of 70 million people, a land area of 56,000 square kilometers, and a GDP of 1.5 trillion US dollars. Now, that's equivalent to all the Nordic countries combined, or Portugal and Spain combined. 11 cities. And I started giving workshops and presentations about the Greater Bay Area 2 years ago in San Francisco, and I have to change that number, the GDP number, every single quarter, because it was back then 1.124 trillion US dollars. This is the pace this region is developing. The population back then was only 65 million people. So over the past 1.5, 2 years, 5 million people were added to the population. I'm coming from Hungary, which is a population of 10 million people and shrinking. Now you can imagine how excited I am to live in this region where I can get from A, Hong Kong, to B, which is Shenzhen, in 14 minutes. On high-speed railway, and to Guangzhou in 47 minutes. And that is the population. Those three cities give a population of 45 million people. It's a 45 million people strong market where you can produce anything, you can buy anything, and you can achieve anything. That's what I'm excited about when we are talking about this region. All the different cities, all the 11 cities are specialized for something absolutely different. I will share with you the presentation later, but Hong Kong is one of the financial hubs in the world. Shenzhen is the hardware and innovation powerhouse of Asia and increasingly the world. Macau is dwarfing Las Vegas when it comes to gaming revenues. It used to have 10 times the gaming revenues of Las Vegas that we know as the gaming capital of the world. No, it is not. It is Macau. And we could go on and on and on. What is exciting about this region that is not only diverse, it is the most diverse city urban cluster in the entire world. As I said, you can produce, manufacture, and buy and create anything in this region. And there's agriculture as well. It's also very efficiently organized. So Hong Kong and Shenzhen and Guangzhou are actually the centers of the various regions of this mega city, and it's being managed very, very efficiently. And of course, probably you have heard about the Belt and Road Initiative. This region, these 11 cities are the cornerstone of that. Through this, Asia, China is being connected all the way to Europe, and it's an extremely important part of Xi Jinping's plan in developing China's power and projection of power all over the world. If you compare this Bay Area to other Bay Areas, this was a comparison that the economists actually put together. So they kind of came up with the New York metropolitan area, the Tokyo Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, areas and cities, mega cities that we respect and know about. Now, you can see that the metrics, in most of the metrics, the Greater Bay Area is actually dwarfing the other regions. And I would like to highlight only one figure, the air passenger traffic, which in the Greater Bay Area is 200 million people and is expected to grow to 340 million people in about 10 years. It's been increasing at that pace accordingly over the past 2 years as well. When I first presented this table, the figure was only 168 million. So it's growing about 10% a year, and it's on track. There are four top 100 universities in the world, in the region. All of them are actually in Hong Kong, but there's know-how, there's talent, there's manufacturing capability, and there's legacy of all that. Now, one more interesting figure or fact that 3 of the top 7 ports in the world are in the region as well. Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou. All of those are some of the biggest ports in the world. That just shows the trading power and the globalized nature of the region. Now, partly because of this, and it happened at an event, a World Economic Forum event that was held in Shenzhen, and I participated. When I realized what my focus has to be for the rest of my life, and I dedicated myself to utilize innovation and technology to impact positively the process of urbanization. And what is urbanization from my perspective, and why is it important? It was this slide that I saw, and I said, I cannot do anything else but this. By 2050, 2.5 billion more people will be living in cities than today, and that equals to 3 million people moving into or being born into cities every single week. It's pretty obvious if you keep operating and building cities the way we are doing it right now, it won't be sustainable, it won't be sufficient, even if it is efficient. So we need to change now how we do all that. And of course, where there's a need, there's an opportunity. And as an investor, I see an enormous opportunity through which I can make a positive impact. So this is what we do, urban innovation with impact through the Greater Bay Area. And we consult, inform, build, and fund, invest into companies. And why I'm here, of course, we are focusing on European companies. I'm European, I'm excited about Europe. I'm very happy to see that Europe, after the Euro crisis, came out of a dormant situation. I see incredible companies. Europe has a very good legacy foundation for urban technologies, and I want to help these companies to grow in Asia through the Greater Bay Area together with my partners. Now, we work with startups and tech companies, but also with some of the largest companies in Europe. And I would like to introduce you a project that we have just finished with Allianz. We have a short video about that.
I'm here in the city of Shenzhen, China, along with Allianz Explore Conference 2019.
The thing that I like about Allianz's approach is in the commitment, the seriousness, and the consistency. Last year, it was a relatively light touch, but high impact. This year, it's being taken to the next level. This region has actually a lot of people that are relevant to the topic, and all of them are coming together at the event.
All the brilliant ideas and great minds here to talk about the possibilities of urban air mobility.
We will invent the future today.
The performance would be much better from robots instead of human. Robot can be much more accurate, consistent, and reliable.
One of the biggest challenges is not the technical aspects, but it's the mental shift in people's thinking and acceptance of getting in some machine that's going to take you up and fly and move you around. Not everyone is comfortable or ready for that.
我们在做的事情就是怎么让这个传感器做得更。
I just wanted to give you a taste of the kind of conversations that are happening in Shenzhen. We were just talking about autonomous driving. Our task and our project was to bring together in the Greater Bay Area the companies that can build the ecosystem, the infrastructure for autonomous passenger drones, basically flying in drones. And all of those technologies are in the Greater Bay Area. We brought them together in the room. The media company Futurism was live streaming it. It is happening right there, right now. And now we are launching a accelerator program, what we call actually a scalerator program, to focus on European later stage companies with at least 1 million euros in revenues that we think can grow in China, and we will help them grow in the Greater Bay Area. We take them on an 8-week-long journey, 8 of them with 8 enterprises that are strong and relevant in the Greater Bay Area, in the area of obviously urban tech with impact, in line with what I told you about, growth stage, validated, and China ready according to us, and bold when it comes to impact and urbanization. The first program is focusing on mobility, so the previous panel was most appropriate to be a segue into my presentation. We are looking at those mobility companies that can make a difference in the Greater Bay Area. And I just want to highlight that in Shenzhen is the first city in the world that entirely electrified its bus fleet. Its entire bus fleet is electric, and its entire taxi fleet by the end of this year will be electric. And all of those vehicles are manufactured by BYD, which has been the largest electric car maker in the world, or electric vehicle manufacturer in the world. Of course, headquartered out of Shenzhen and founded in Guangzhou. So the companies we are working with some of them will be familiar for you because Siemens is one of our partners. Siemens has been in the Greater Bay Area very strong, very active for more than 100 years. They are a very successful company with local expertise, of course understanding the cross-border business development challenges. And we are bringing together other 7 companies that are either from China, Hong Kong, or global companies with local expertise in the areas that you see on the slide: energy, infrastructure, mobility, and so on. This is not an innovation theater. I would like to highlight that. My background is in organizing accelerator programs all over the world. I do have an early stage, I'm partner of an early stage investment fund accelerator management company called Nest. We have offices in Bangkok, Hong Kong, Bahrain, and Nairobi. And we do know how to do these programs better. My partner has been doing the same thing in China with similarly large corporations for early stage companies, and we developed a program that we think can be most efficient for later stage companies. And we brought together not only our funds, but also the best co-investors in the region that we can think of. I just want to highlight, because we have only 1 minute, a couple of examples from the Greater Bay Area that are relevant to mobility and to urban tech with impact. I already talked about BYD in Shenzhen. The Hong Kong airport's third runway development is designed to be the most sustainable airport development project in the world. It is happening right now. Huawei is working on the Digital Sky project and actually leading with a lot of European companies the Digital Sky initiative to set up and enable the 5G connectivity so drones can fly all the way up to 300 to 500 meters high, so it can enable the autonomous flying taxi future. Tencent, of course, the founder, the mother company of WeChat, that I'm sure you are all familiar with, actually owns 5% of Tesla. So there is an interest and appetite from these companies in the region to invest in urban tech and mobility companies. And the last example is from Cisco, that is actually building an entire smart city in the region, in Huizhou, that I'm sure you never heard about, but it's a big city, very ambitious city, and they are allocating resources to build with international companies, smart cities, and invest in urban tech with impact. Now, I'm here because I would like to invite you all to scale, and let's do this all together. What is this? Grow, make an impact, and grow into China in particular. If you'd like to connect with me, my contact details are there, and I'm very, very thankful for the attention, and it's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation.